Well, welcome to episode two of Respect the Whistle, and a massive thank you from me and Martin for people that have subscribed to the channel and, of course, watched episode one. But don't forget to share, subscribe, and, of course, watch episode one and, of course, now episode two as well. And on tonight's show, me and Martin will be talking about what's just dropped today as we record this on Tuesday night. But it's just been dropped that, of course, the Premier League will be using automated offsides from just after. I think it's just after Easter. And then, of course, also we talk about the effect of the lack of referees due to, or possibly due to youth team football. And then we've got two games to have a look at that Martin's already had a good look at. And one of them, of course, is in League One, which is the sending off in the Bolton versus Blackpool game. And then, of course, as well, our old friends down at Merthyr Town are at it again. This week it's Winchester City against Merthyr. And there was a penalty that was taken. And the goal that was eventually scored was chalked off, and Martin will tell us why that was as well. Merthyr did go on to win the game 3-1 anyway, so it didn't cost them too much, but Martin will explain to us exactly why that was. But how are we, Martin? A week since we spoke, and you don't look as plastered as I thought you might be.
I'm in pretty good. I'm in pretty good shape. I've been busy this week, as you can imagine. But yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. So I'm quite happy at the moment. Oh, just looking forward to tonight's football.
Yeah, same here. Mr. Saka possibly back, or he's back, but hopefully he might get a game. So that'll be good.
I think he might.
So that's all right.
Sorry about that.
No, they look brilliant on the screen. But I mean, it's just been announced, of course, that with these automated offsides, they're finally going to be coming into the Premier League. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Well, automated offside, I think, do you know, when I first heard about it a few years ago, I was extremely, I was a bit concerned whether it was the end of assistant referees. And I've got, you know, some of the best assistant referees are in this country. There's no doubt about that. And I was just thinking, is that going to be a thing? But as VAR has evolved, everybody's worried about, you know, armpits, fingernails, toenails, and all this. And we see how tight that they actually are. Most of these calls, they're extremely tight, particularly at the very, very top level, because the quality of the players and their runs is that good that I think you've got to have X-ray vision at times. The best in the world, the likes of Darren Cann, Adam Nunn, you know, they're extremely, extremely good. But let's be honest, they're still human. Now, with having the automated offsides, having seen it at work in the last sort of year, around, you know, in other areas around the globe and other competitions, I've got to say, I think it's really good. I think it's quite good. You can't really argue with it. And I think at the top level, they will always take it on. And now we have the technology. If you don't bring it in my opinion, I think that clubs would use the technology that they probably have against the officials. So if it's a tool that can aid the officials at the very, very top level, I think it's probably a good idea. And although offside is, you know, it is black and white, you know, but with this, hopefully there won't be too many issues. I know there was it was out in the FA Cup, and I can't remember what the game was. It might have been Bournemouth, not this time, the last round, and they was using the automated offside, and there was an extremely complex decision, and it was very difficult to make out what was what. But I think in general, I think most of the time you're going to get this automated offside working. So I think it will be good for the game at the top level, but will be interesting to see the reaction at other levels of the game towards match officials and offside, because as we know, it's always been a subject that people want to have a go at, and now with everybody having a VO and this, that, and the other, they put their 2 penneth in. But at the end of the day, outside the Premier League, referees are human. So we got to remember that, I think, as well.
In that sort of side of using that VO machine, and the VO is quite clever. But you get into that stage now with technology. You're thinking to yourself, maybe when it gets to VO4 or VO5 or whatever else addition, why couldn't they put that same sort of software, on a cheaper scale into that VO? Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, then you could use that sort of like stuff all the way down the levels, and the referee just walks over and has a look on a screen, on a computer screen, and then you can be told straight away.
I think it's going to have to be. I think it's going to have to be a lot clearer before anything like that happens. A lot, anything can happen with these VO machines, and the bottom line is they are, 9 times out of 10. I mean, they're on the halfway line, and a lot of the really important offside decisions or the controversial ones are around the 18-yard line. And to be able to nail that down and then trust the VO and then say, oh, yeah, that was onside, I think we're a long way from putting that anywhere. I don't think we're a long way from it being used, not VO, but technology being used in the Championship. I don't think that's far away. And I think eventually it will go throughout the professional game down to League Two. Once there's enough officials to cover that, I think somewhere along I don't know how far away that is, but I'd like, if I fast forward a decade, so let's have a look in a decade's time where we are with technology. I don't think it will just be the Premier League. So it'd be interesting to see what happens, because like you say, in the non-league game now, there's so many camera angles and this and that, but you can't trust anything but official camera angles. So,
I suppose one of the things with it, though, I suppose, is the fact that it's taken as long as it has for it to come in when they've been using it in the FA Cup, and you think to yourself, well, you can see that it works in the FA Cup. You can see it worked in, I think it was the Championships over the summer that it worked in as well. Why take so long in bringing it into the Premier League?
Do you know what? It's a great question, because I think the technology was there a lot earlier on in the season. And you're absolutely right. Why couldn't it have been done? But the clubs will have all have been asked all this. And do they want it? Don't they want it? And there would have been clubs against it as well. Remember that. There would have been a few clubs against this. So it would have been interesting to see whose decision it actually is. I don't think it's just the authorities' decision, the FA, the Premier League, the PGMOL. The clubs will have to be involved in that conversation. So, yeah, but I think now we've got to a point where, okay, we're getting towards the end of the season, and did we say it's just after Easter it's coming in?
I think so, yeah.
Well, I saw there was an international tournament that was used in last year, and I thought it was brilliant. I can't be honest, and it was quick, it was lightning, and it doesn't take away from the assistant referees, not for me, because they can still give an opinion. It can then be highlighted very quickly by communication about this offside. And don't forget, the assistant referee is assisting comment on the comms to the referee at the exact point that he needs to be. So actually, I just think it's an added tool for the assistant referee and the match officials and the match officials in general. So I'm not sure why it didn't come in so fast. There will be an excellent an explanation on that. But yeah, I think it's the right decision to bring it in, and I think to have it in the last month of the season, it feels like a trial. So let's see how that goes, and I hope it goes really well.
So I suppose one of the other subjects you want to talk about tonight is this situation in youth football and the lack of referees. I mean, how do you feel that that's youth football's affecting it?
Well, I've been I've coached youth football. People know me. I've played the game at a good level, and I've been a youth team coach for years, and I see when I go and watch, because I've got kids as well. I've seen them come through the youth team systems. I see a lot of games, just simply through either being there with the games I'm involved in or being there and seeing things happen on games that are before my game and after my game. I might stick around with the lads. We might watch a game. Some of the stuff that happens on the side of a pitch it's awful, to be honest. I've seen parents. Some of the parents are just unbelievable, and some of the stuff that gets said. And I'm looking at the referees, and the referees are either guys that are just doing it as a hobby and they're level 7, or kids, young kids, 16, 17, just trying to learn how to referee. Well, as far as those people on the side are concerned, and the coaches, some of the coaches, not every coach, of course not, but some of the coaches, they don't even think, they've watched Match of the Day and they think it's the same. They think it's the same when it's just, it's not even the same game. It's not even the same sport. Don't even think it is. And you see some of the stuff that goes on in these youth team games, and you can see the parents going absolutely crazy on the side, and then they go crazy because some foul wasn't given, but against little Jimmy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it goes off because he's had to go at the referee, and then somebody from the other team would say something, or it might be a coach, and all of a sudden we've got something going on the side of a pitch, which happens a lot. It doesn't happen in at every game, of course it doesn't, but it happens a lot. And we see these pictures now of parents fighting, coaches absolutely disgusting, saying disgusting things to the referee. And all I hear referees saying, particularly ones further up, I'm not interested in doing new football. I've got no interest in that whatsoever. So what happens is the better referees not interested in doing it. So the ones that should be doing it, the ones that are up and coming, they're the ones doing it. But of course, all the people on the side, they've just seen Match of the Day and think it's the same. Yeah. Oh, Match of the Day last night, he gave that. Yeah, and do you know what I mean? So what? This ain't not being funny. This isn't Match of the Day, and this isn't Liverpool versus Everton. Sorry. Do you know what I mean? So we are having a problem. We're getting referees to referee youth team matches now, and obviously what that creates is then coaches doing it or dads doing it. Then they have a problem. I saw a problem a couple of weeks ago. It was a massive problem in a game, and the team walked off the pitch. They decided, no, we've had enough. We're walking off the pitch because what was being said by the coaches of one particular team and the other team who were like 13 and 14 years old just felt threatened and they walked off. I mean, this is the problem we're having. It's just the behaviour. The behaviour at youth team football is out of, for me, it's out of control. And then, of course, social media, toxic.
Well, I was just pulling something up while you were talking, and I did see it. I can't actually physically find it, but on X, there's a gentleman on there. You may know him or not. It's at Radical Referee.
Yeah.
And there's a clip on there from Sky Sports News, where they're basically talking about the controversial decision from Miles Lewis Skelly, and actually going through that on Ref Watch. And the headline on it is "Who wants to be a referee now?" And he's put on there, yep, who wants to be a referee now? One of the things for sure is overwhelming majority of the mouthy know-it-alls that wouldn't even have the courage to referee under-8s games.
Now that's exactly it. Now you get that. You see what Radical Referee's right. I know the guy. He's a good guy. Now he's absolutely right. The amount of people I've done it myself. Okay, I've done it myself. I've done it this season. This guy said something to me on the side, and I was doing an under-14 game, and he's like got his hands wrapped. He's got his hands covering. He's covering his wife or whatever he's doing, and he's looking, and then he shouts abuse at me, and I took the whistle off, and I went, mate, do you want to do it? And I'll change position with you. I'll be happy with that. Did you want to do it? I said, and I'm deadly serious, mate. Do you want to do it? And he looked at me, and he's scared him to death. And I said, if you don't want to do it, don't comment. And I had to say something because what he said was over the threshold, in my opinion, that 14-year-olds should be hearing. So yeah, you're right. They would absolutely not be interested. They'll go home and go on. They'll have a moan about the referee, but they wouldn't put themselves in that position ever. They're not interested.
I mean, I was myself, and you say about youth games, and you see how these sort of things affect people. And I was just standing. I was refereeing myself at the time, and I finished my game. Went to see. There was two girls' teams playing. Great game, a little game of football. Down at Langley Colts in. There's a shout out for them. Langley Colts girls down in Harlow, and they were playing this game, and there was a couple of players on there that were, very, very good players as well. And the referee was reffing the game, and shall we say, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to get in any trouble, but just say it was an ex-professional footballer that was standing on the line. I think maybe watching maybe his daughter or whatever on the line, and was giving this referee so much abuse. It was unbelievable, to the fact that I had to go round the pitch and say, look, come on. I mean, that's just not. And they had to stop the game because the young girl that he was having a go at, which was, I think it was a Langley Colts girl that he was having a go at, was in floods of tears on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And it was just unbelievable. And you think, so if you can get something from somebody that's played Premier League football doing that to young kids, let's be honest, how what do you expect from other people that just mums and dads? And as you say, you see it so often that kids are looking at it as a career. Some of them, when I used to be a referee secretary for the youth league, they'd say to me, Dave, I want to see it as a career. I want to referee in the Premier League. I'm not a good footballer, so I'm never going to make it into football, but I want to be a referee in the Premier League. And I had 2 or 3 youngsters do that, and 18 months later, they weren't refereeing anymore. Because of the abuse that they got from parents.
Yeah, that's it. And like you say, when you've got somebody, like you just said, of a professional background, and they're doing it at that level, what chance have you got? Because the parents will follow, and I'm sure the kids will just follow, because you see it at so many levels now, where the coach gives it, the parents give it, and then the kids, by the time they're 15 and 16, you know what that's like. They start giving it, and all of a sudden you've got a mess in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Massive lack of respect out there.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen an incident here. Milton United FC, game abandoned. This was posted on the 14th of the 12th, 2024. Due to a spectator unwilling to leave the ground, this is a youth game, the referee has abandoned the game. The incident will be referred to the authorities and the league to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem we're having. Do they realise that these are youth team games of football? That all we're doing as coaches is setting up these players to play football, to play adult football. We want them to enjoy their kids' football, but we've got too many adults who are spoiling it for everybody. And the behaviour. When I was when I was a kid, I don't remember that. I remember winning games, losing games, but I don't remember some of the stuff that gets said on the side of these pitches now. It's just terrible. And I'm not shocked that referees just go, do you know what? No, I'm picking the ball up and going home. See you later, because I'm not putting up with this. And I'm not surprised that happens now, because I think behaviour is absolutely in the toilet, if I'm honest. And I think it's as bad as it's ever been. I don't think it's ever been as bad as it is now. It's so bad, and this is stopping people from wanting to become referees, and they wonder why they can't get referees into youth football. Well, that's why. Do you know what I mean? That's why.
So using our our show's name, Respect the Whistle. How do you get that respect for the referees? How do you go about turning this around?
Now, all people will say, as coaches and parents, they will go, well, you just got to be consistent. You got to know what you're doing. You got to get decisions right. Like let's say that we're holding a cup of coffee and eating a ham sandwich. Do you know what I mean? I would say, to respect the referee has to turn up, right? Absolutely pristine for me. You have to look the part. None of this bobble at. None of this dressed in joggers and looking a little bit out of sorts. Doesn't matter what your body looks like. If you're in good, clean kit, know your laws of the game. Absolutely know your laws of the game. Have empathy for those kids. Absolutely, right? and try to talk the kids through the game as well, but make sure that other things, when it does go above a level, you don't hide. You go and you do your job. You can speak to a 13-year-old and then get your point across. 9 times out of 10, they will be very, very receptive. When they get to about under 15s, that's when, I'm sorry, but that's when you have to go in and do your job. You can go in, you can warn, but then you've got to be seen to do your job. Now, that comes with the managers as well. If you can be nice and receptive towards the managers, don't treat them as the enemy before the game, because they're not. They've got a job to do as well. But you can be nice, and you've got to be nice until it's time to not be nice. But do your job. And if you are a certain referee who can do that, then you will earn your respect. But I remember once somebody said, I said to somebody, have some respect, and to the manager says, you got to earn respect, mate, he said. And I said, yeah, and you ain't earned mine yet, because he was being absolutely obnoxious. So, I think after I did that did have an effect on that day. But I think we've got to keep banging it home that poor behaviour is completely unacceptable. Making a young referee cry and throw in the whistle is completely unacceptable. It's a youth team match. In the great scheme of things, these games don't really matter, right? They don't really matter and they don't even matter to the kids till they're under 14s. Really don't. They just want to play football. These kids just want to play football.
Yeah.
So I want to see kids play football, enjoy it. You've got to experience wins, defeats. You've also got to experience referees getting it right and getting it wrong, because mistakes will happen. Because as you and I both know, the mistakes on a football pitch, there will be mistakes by the coach, by the players, by the referee, everybody. And at youth team level, it's going to happen. And I think everybody needs to not just experience that, but accept it. So hopefully we can get some respect, but we've got to keep banging the drum, because if we don't keep banging the drum about respect, it'll get worse and worse and worse. And social media is a massive problem.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So we've got a couple of clips. We'll try and lighten the mood a little bit in the last sort of
let's lighten
10
the mood.
minutes. So we got a couple of clips tonight. I mean, one of them's from the professional game, one of them's from the amateur game. It's which one do you want to digress on first? Bolton first, or do you want to go?
Let's do Bolton first, shall we?
So we'll describe what happened. So basically, and Martin, you can tell me if I'm wrong with this, but the ball goes through, and Guy basically tugs down on the shirt of the Blackpool player. Goes down, and then a red card is shown by the referee. When I looked at it for the first time, and this is where we might disagree, it looked like there was covering players there, and the video that we've seen on X basically says, why on earth has the guy been sent off? So over to you, Martin. Why was he sent off?
Well, I'll give you my opinion. Yeah. So what I can tell is, I reckon this was who's attacking here. So it's Blackpool attack. I reckon it was a Bolton corner, okay, and the keeper's gone up, okay. That is critical in this. So the keeper's gone up, I believe. Now it's broke. Blackpool have gone down the left wing, and you're absolutely right. The player he's chasing back, and he just grabs him. And you're absolutely right. There is a covering defender. There he is, a covering defender. Now they will say, and then you will have people go, it's not last man, there are covering defenders. That's what you will hear. Okay. However, now this is where it gets interesting. Because the goalkeeper's gone up, the last player, right, then becomes, if you like, the goalkeeper, even though, he's like there. So then it's like the second player in a normal denial Dogzo game, or Dogzo thing, is a the second player is normally the one who's the last man, as they like to call it. All right. So it's the last man because you still got to beat the keeper. But there was no keeper in the goal. So you've got one player there who would be taking the part of the keeper, because later on, as he fouls, the keeper then comes into shot.
Yeah. I'm just watching. I'm watching it now as you're talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the keeper comes into shot. So basically, the guy's going to kick it into an empty net.
Yeah.
So it is even with the one player there, it is an obvious goal scoring opportunity because the goalkeeper's not in the goal.
Yeah.
And it's even more of an goal scoring opportunity because the guy who is there can't handle it.
Yeah.
Because then he'll get sent off for handball. So anyway, so for me, I think that's why the red card was given, because the goalkeeper isn't there. The last player who was officially covering becomes the goalkeeper, but the denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity still happens. Now, as they played on, the referee's given a yellow card. So he gives a yellow card to the guy. Now, I don't know if anything was said to in the comms. I don't know what happened there, but he then gets a red. So that could be either the referees realised there's a mistake and he's then given him a red card, because it's a very awkward situation. You see, when the keeper goes up, it can absolutely spin your mind out. And believe you me, it can really happen. And it has happened to the best.
Yeah.
But it also could be a second yellow for dissent. So on Flash Score, it basically had a yellow card, 90 plus 6, and it had yellow red, which is another yellow card, 90 plus 7. So I'm not sure exactly what happened with that, whether he might have said something and been dissent, or have the comms of the refereeing team and the officiating team come together and said, actually, the goalkeeper wasn't in the goal. That lad becomes the goalkeeper. This is still a denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity. You must show a red card. That's what I think has happened.
Well, the sort of like the write up for the because it's I'm assuming a Bolton fan that's posted it, and he's put on it, how on earth has he given this a red? Still baffles me. Morley ain't even the last defender, and you can clearly see the Blackpool players bullying the referee to change his decision.
Well, that's just a lack of knowledge, but bullying the referee. When wasn't a referee questioned? They were questioned for every decision, but virtually, particularly in the 97th minute of a game between Bolton and Blackpool, where they're breaking. You're going to be questioned. You're going to have players saying what's what, particularly when they know it should be a red card.
Yeah.
So I think the guy who said that hasn't really taken into account the fact that the actual goalkeeper isn't standing between the sticks.
Well, I'll be honest,
on the halfway line.
And I'll be honest with you, and it just shows you about how you look at things maybe differently to me. I looked at it 2 or 3 times before I sent it to you, and I didn't see the goalkeeper coming past until you just said it, and I looked at it, and I could see the goalkeeper coming in after the foul has been committed, and he's, as you said, just trots past as
he just trots in. So I'm thinking, well, you're not in the goal, are you, mate? So it's going to be a free shot on goal here. It's the first thing I saw, because the way they broke, and then the way he pulled him down, I kept watching it, and there's the keeper, and then I went and checked on Flash Score, and I just thought, well, that's an injury time, obviously, because the keeper's gone up, and there you go. So that's what I think's happened. So it'd be interesting to see the actual reason, but I don't think the referee's got that wrong. I think he's got that right.
So spot on. So the second one, which again involves Merthyr again.
Your friend's Merthyr Town. He's
2 weeks.
Great club.
2 weeks in a row.
Merthyr Town are. Seriously, I love Merthyr Town. How can you not like Merthyr Town?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I love them to bits, I'll be honest with you. But it's just coincidence, everybody, that was what's happened, what's happened. But it is a case of just looking at it. And basically what's happened in this one is there's a penalty to Merthyr. The guy takes the penalty. It hits the post. It comes back out again, and he puts it away for what they felt was a goal, and going, I think at the time, 2-0 up at the time. But unfortunately, the referee then has a decision to makes a decision, and the actual goal is chalked off. So again, Martin, tell us why that would be.
So the penalty taker strikes the ball, as you correctly say. Goalkeeper goes the right way, hits the post, comes back to the penalty taker, and he puts it away. So the law within the penalty kick is the fact that it must, before the penalty taker strikes the ball again, it must touch another player. So it hasn't touched another player. Basically, it's hit the frame of the goal, come back to him, and he's scored. So it's a double touch, which is then an indirect free kick. So that is exactly the decision. And then you can see how it's happened. The first things when it's hit the post and it's gone into the net, there wasn't too much in the first couple of seconds from the team in orange. The team in orange did you say that was Winchester?
Yes, I haven't got the name up in front of me, but I'll try and see if I can find it. I know
so there wasn't too much from them, and then one of their players clearly knows the law because he's had a little
team in red, team
in red. Sorry. So he's basically, he knew the law, and he said something to the referee. A couple of others have heard that, and the referee at the start, he's sort of like the penalty's gone in, and you can see he sort of jogs in, and you can see he's not quite. Something doesn't smell right here. You know when it doesn't smell right, and it's like, something's not quite right here. And then it does take a bit of time for your brain to compute it, because he's getting questioned. You got to remember, when you're on there, everybody's in your ear. He's surrounded by players, so it's not as easy as me and you just sat here looking at this. It's just not, because your brain can fry. It really can. But as long as you're cool and calm, there's not too many issues. In this instance, I think he smells there was a problem. He realizes the issue. He knows that this guy's put it in, so that can't be right. That's what I think's happened. Now what's going through his mind is, did the keeper touch it onto the post? Or when it bounced off the post, did it touch any part of the keeper? Now that's where I think he's gone to the assistant referee to double check. Right, the penalty, first of all, you want to say, right, the penalty taker definitely put in the rebound. Yes, right, that's correct. Did the goalkeeper touch it? Did he touch it? Did he tap it onto the post or anything like that? So that's what he'll be going through his mind. And I think the assistant referee has probably confirmed what he already knows, and he gives the indirect free kick. I think what's quite interesting with the whole thing is there's clearly somebody on the bench who is shouting as the referee's going over to the assistant referee. He shouts, the keeper touched it. The keeper touched it. He saved it. He touched it. He's doing everything he can to change the decision. The referee can't hear him. Trust me, you can't hear that. Okay. And then obviously he gives the indirect free kick, and that same guy then goes, right, get back in. He was trying it on, trying his luck. He knew it. He probably knew exactly what happened, but he was trying his luck. I'd love to go over and just yell a card him for being a cheat. Or to try to cheat the referee, trying to get the referee to change his mind. But of course, everybody does it. Everybody tries that. But at least he it looks like, on the face of it, whoever did that is completely accepted the decision. He was just trying it on. So that's the decision. It's a double touch and an indirect free kick. And you don't see that one every week either. No. So, no, it's good.
Yeah, definitely was. But it's been an interesting week refereeing-wise, I mean, this week. And, of course, as we said, we've got the YouTube channel, which, of course, you're watching this on. All we're asking you guys is to make sure you're on there that you subscribe to the channel. And of course, you should share it out as well. Get your friends to subscribe to the channel as well, and give us a watch. We're going to be here on a regular basis with Respect the Whistle. And of course, if you've got any incidents, good and bad, or even funny incidents you want Martin to look at during the game as well, make sure you send them in to respectthewhistle@gmail.com, and send them in along with the video if you've got the video of what happens as well. Or even if you want certain rules or certain, sorry, I shouldn't say rules, certain laws. I get told off if I say laws, but certain laws that you want Martin to explain in more detail, then also as well send us a message either on Twitter or of course on email as well. And we will try to make sure that we take them on the show and we try and explain that as well. And if, of course, if you're a referee yourself and you want to come on and share your stories and share some instances you've been involved in, why not come and join me and Martin on Respect the Whistle? As I say, just contact us at respectthewhistle at gmail.com and we will get back in touch with you and get you on the program as soon as possible. But from me and from the living legend, Mr. TikTok himself, Martin, we will see you very soon with episode 3 of Respect the Whistle. Thank you for watching and good night.